Coming from the true space, we ain't entertaining neighbors. I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. What's good, y'all? My name's Open Book. This is my partner.
Hey guys, this is Harris. Welcome back to Truspace.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's get into the energies. Looking at Monday, the 30th of January, we have the moon conjuncting Mars in Gemini. How do you think this is going to affect us all on Monday?
So right now we're gonna be emotionally reacting to basically being broad and indecisive when it comes to our thoughts and idea from an emotional perspective, which is putting us in an emotional place to think a lot or to think about our emotion, especially as the moon hit this conjunction with the Mars, really causing our emotion go through an intensified period to really push out more broader sense of communication, especially coming from the moon in Taurus, where conjuncting Uranus really forcing us to ground something, stabilize something. So when the moon goes into Gemini, you have something to communicate about. Like your words have a weight behind them. But if you did not do the stabilizing, the grounding work when the moon was in Taurus, then a lot of stuff you're gonna get into, they're gonna be ungrounded. They're gonna be like really floaty, really just Mercurian, like useless conversation. But if you've done the work, when the moon goes to Gemini, now you have something to communicate about. You could add more broadness and thoughts and ideas and mentalities to this value you've been developing.
Absolutely, 100%, for sure. We've been having Mars and Gemini and that energy for so long, and I feel like maybe Mars is like the soldier or like a soldier archetype. That's why it's so strong in Aries. You know, the first part. You know, it just being able to use its force, it being able to follow instinct or to follow orders and things being quick like that. But in Gemini, it's really forced to develop its own mentality around things. And to be versatile and wise in how you divert your energy, because Mars is your drive, it's your motivation, it's how you do things, how you exert and push on energy. It being in Gemini is really calling for us to really versatize how we expend our energy, whether it be through conversation and how we devote our energy into the mental realm and the thoughts that we entertain, but really making a versatile use, understanding that our energy has to go into different values and be fluid and not just be rigid, not just be the soldier energy where you take energy or where you take orders and just be impulsive. We were put in a situation where the soldier has to come up with its own tactics, and this is what the moon is really responding to. So depending on the work that we've been putting in, just like what Harith was saying, there's that aggression that can really be exposed, especially if we didn't ground ourselves when the moon was in Taurus, within our five senses, within your body, within reality, within studying your values. Then you can start to entertain and versatilize things to be successful in that avenue. But you need a ground to do that on, for sure. What about the sextile between the moon, between Jupiter and Chiron?
So as you're emotionally becoming more versatile when it comes to thoughts, ideas, ways of communicating, really, this is gonna allow you to see more opportunity on how you can handle the wound when it comes to the individual by allowing your emotion to be in a very logical place, a very broad logical place. This is what's gonna allow you to articulate your wound much more better or view it from a better perspective, but also give it the proper fuel of logic, so you don't go starting like based on your wound, you don't go like damage yourself. Because a lot of time in Cardian in Aries, you could be like a risk taker, but like that risk could cause you to create more damage. So like a moon in conjunction Mars in Gemini will make you aware on how you can articulate this wound.
Yeah. Yeah, a versatile thought, the curiosity to experiment different ideas, of how you can avoid getting the wound or how it can be utilized, Maybe, a guy has a traumatic wound from a car accident where, he almost died and lost his life, but maybe girls find it nice to have, or it's a scar or something like that, and then maybe you could use it as an opening line or something like that. Just how you could flip a whole situation where you nearly almost lost your life, like this is no joke or something like that. But then look at how it can be used for something, lighter, on. And you may obviously you didn't think of that when your blood was gashing from your face, but later on it became useful in that way. Some opportunities are hard to see or so come quick like that opportunities like that with Aries and Gemini when those come into sextiles, things may come quick, and that's why with Aries you have to be in tune with your wants so you can trust your desires so you can just act on your instinct. And same thing with Gemini where to be in the moment so you can make the correct decisions within the moment, to know you have a clear mind and in a analytical mind so you can move in the moment.
Exactly.
What about the square between with Venus and Pisces squaring the moon in Gemini?
So as Venus entered Pisces, we're getting more trying to love, appreciate, indulge in things dealing with our dreams and illusions, and trying to see how we could enjoy these things, but also like enjoy them so we could make them something that we that matter to us. There's no point in like loving, appreciating a dream or illusion if it's just gonna straight in Pisces realm. Like we're not gonna try to bring it down here. So you gotta be careful on how you're gonna apply that energy. The square with the moon conjuncting Mars in Gemini is forcing you to really put words into what you're trying to love and appreciate. Because if you don't know how to put words to it, then you will know how to bring it into reality. And the word, this is why they say the the God had the word, and the word was with God, and so on and so forth. If you don't know the word to talk about what you love and appreciate, which is right now in the realm of dreams and illusion, then you'll never know how to manifest it. There's gonna be a fight between your emotions and your love matter. But your love matter, they like to be they want to enjoy our dreams and illusions. They don't have time to really communicate, make things logical and things like that. So that's gonna be the fight between emotions, your mother, and then Venus, your princess.
Yeah, 100%. I understand and relate to that 100%. um yeah, I would even know people that would blame language for the lack of communication or for the dryness, but not understand or how to get over this square. Like, people down language so much, and trust me, it's witchcraft and spells all written in it. But you can one, you're already doing that, and you're a witcher and you're wizard. So spells and all of that should be in your tool belt. But you have to have a general awareness of how to go these things. That's why the words that you say are so important. But people get lost in how other people speak and political correctness and stuff like that. Pisces, you can communicate. Just you don't have to try and communicate like how everybody else is communicating. Find your own individual way. You can make the poem. You can interpretive dance if that's what a motherfucker takes. I mean, fucking hand signs or something like that. Make a story. Write a comic book. Draw a picture. Or something like that. And this is how you can get that the conversation started and then the communication going. There's different ways. So instead of clashing, oh, I have to abandon my creativity to handle the to analyze and break things down or get lost in language and stuff like that. You could bring them together. It doesn't have to be oil and water. They can mix together.
Hmm.
Sun in Aquarius squaring Uranus and the North Node in Taurus.
So as we're diving more deeper into Aquarius season, forcing us to become more fixated, stubborn about who we're gonna be associated with and who we're gonna network with and what we want to progress in. This is gonna be a very important time. It's square Uranus. It's Aquarius ruling planet. Since Uranus been here for a while in Taurus, destroying things, making us be unique and original through rebelling against what's old and outdated. The sun right now moving to Aquarius. This is gonna give us like the awareness and the creativity on how to utilize all this uniqueness and originality that we've been going through in the third dimension. But now since we have our awareness in the area dealing with our associate, now we could like bring our mind and our body together basically. And the square is gonna be the learning opportunity for you to actually do that, and it's gonna be very intense. Where towards like comfortability and like what's old and outdated, which is good to keep your hormonal system safe. And Aquarius likes to what's nerve wracking but forces really to evolve, and the square causes like this biology and headache basically.
100%. It's like I feel like we left Aquarius in Taurus's room, or I guess it's Venus's room, but in Taurus, and then the sun's like the lights. The lights have been
Hmm.
off for a while, and so Taurus. I mean, Uranus has been going crazy. Just fucking shit up. Tearing down the counter and all of that, creating a bunch of ruckus. But now with that square, it's like a light on. Now we get to see. We went and checked up on Uranus, turned the light on in the room, and seen all fucked up. It was like, damn. But now it's an opportunity to make a change. Either give Uranus the talking to, clean up the room. You know what I mean? But now we have the visual, at least, of the damage that was done or how these energies are progressing, and now we can have the opportunity to intellectualize about these things and look at how we can work with other people on a larger scale or collect information and how to better incorporate, our social and mental world with the 3D physical reality, like I hear the saying. But yeah, that's how Monday's looking. Very airy.
Hmm.
Moon's in Gemini, and it's Aquarius season, so we're going to be feeling those energies. But definitely, there's a lot of help going on. Even though Moon's on Mars, so there's a lot of intensity that's going to be going on, and a lot of mental energy, and then some mutable squares too. So things may be confusing, but know that there's energy there to work with if you get what I mean. Just like how we're talking about with the sextile and Aries, things are going to happen fast. So it's more about tuning in with your emotions and clearing your mind so you can be able to act in the moment.
This is why a lot of people do things before thinking about it. Because, like for example, Aries, the first house, is so close to where Gemini is, where your hand is. So you could see how when you start visioning and taking action on these things, you start moving your hands quick. So, like, think about the
Yeah,
sextile the same way
yeah,
too.
absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. That's why it's funny because I play basketball. I couldn't understand soccer too much because,
Oh,
it's all the way down to the feet.
yo.
That's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much. But like I don't know how they do. I don't have that type of handles with the feet. But that's crazy.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's how Monday's looking. Definitely try and act within the moment, or to keep your emotions clear, have your emotions centered. Have your mind cleared, and you'll be able to really be in the moment and extract some wisdom and knowledge. Looking at Tuesday, we have the moon in late Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think this energy is going to hit?
So as we're diving deeper on what we're gonna be emotionally communicating about, debating about, arguing about, especially after conjuncture in Mars, really bringing intensity to the conversation. We're gonna see whether we like planted the right seed because of the new moon, like in Aquarius. Like, do we have something to talk about, like a new like information to be juggled? With the trying to set in Aquarius, this will stabilize our emotional state on like what we're talking about and what we are curious about.
Yeah,
So we could be more curious about how can we contribute to the social development and create a structure that could support it. And that's how Saturn Aquarius will help us. But also here having the in conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn, You have to focus on transforming this structure and taking power control on what you want to do through jumping on the right broad conversation that's somehow related to business structure, what you want to do, and not allowing yourself to get distracted when the moon entered Gemini.
100%. 100%. It's like the Saturn's, may be acting stern, but it's really trying to help us emotionally right now. By it's like right now, if you don't know, teamwork makes the dream work. If your amount of information that you have right now is weak, or you're at the avenues through which you get information isn't held tight. Something with the your own personal authority, something that you can trust and rely on, then you already know that you're flunked out, or you're not going to be experiencing the benefits of Saturn. So I feel like this trine, Saturn is letting you know, or you're coming up with new ideas, or your mind's going in different places, or at least your emotions are going in different places. Here, I'm gonna remind you of teamwork makes the dream work right now, and what's actually solid, and how you can best work with people, so you can use this analytical urge that you have, or this versatile emotional urge to communicate and to explore new realms of idea, but fix it into this realm of reality to help get you more solid. And then Pluto and Capricorn's putting you into this new space where it's like forcing you to take things seriously, because even though Saturn's helping you take this avenue, but you can go about that however you want, But Pluto's like, nah, nigga, this is serious, and I'm gonna add some confusion, some confusing power struggles, some confusing responsibilities, some confusing levels of status, like being presented a position out of the blue that is not right for you, or maybe you wanted to leave your job, but then they're trying to give you a promotion or something like that. And then you have to take serious of the transformation that you want to take in the role and position that you like, and make the statement, no, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to go and take, that's the type of thing that, might throw you away, or to test how serious you are about actually taking the transformation that's needed for you to hold the status that it is that you are ambitious for.
A lot of time we don't realize the miscommunication between the government and like the people who run the media and the news, like TMZ and shit like that. Sometimes the people who run the government and these structures, they have no idea what the news and these people are having conversation about till it gets to Libra. It becomes like a social cause. Then we take it to the court system and shit like that. So sometimes we
Yeah,
realize how it's very hard to bring them together or make Capricorn aware like what's happening within the immediate moment, what's happening with the children, the family, and so on and so forth.
that's
And then
true.
we
That's
blame
true.
them, and then we're the citizen who's supposed to like we the people supposed to like bring them together, like explain to both people like what's happening.
I'll lie. That's how it is. Like they're telling us what's happening to us, but it's happening to us. Nigga, go look outside. Yeah, that's what somebody said. I forgot who it was, but it's like, yo, you be watching the news talking about the economy, nigga. You are the economy, nigga. Go up. They talking about you. The economy's at an all time low or some shit like that, nigga. That's you.
The economy is crashing. We gotta bring new technologies, the economy. You're talking about you.
Yeah, dead ass. Not them. Not them. They got a nice
Um,
pension, so some money saved away. A couple of properties that may grow in value and shit like that. They talking about you, and it's funny. Eco means home, which is interesting.
mhm.
So it's the study of how to manage a home
Oh,
necessarily, or that's the root of the word of where it comes from, which is interesting. People don't realize that, and that's why if you destroy a family structure and small businesses, there's no economy after
yeah.
that.
This is why like the government and shit they would like give allow rich they would give rich people like tax deduction because they helping the economy, they helping the government. Oh, they're feeding the people, they providing more opportunity and shit like that. But that is the point where the sheep will look at the rich people and the government like they're working against them.
Yeah, yeah. And technically they are, because what's the money that they're giving to those niggas? That's your money, nigga. That's your money. They pimping you the hell out, bro. That's crazy. But this is why Pluto's in Capricorn right now, and why we're feeling the weight of that reality as heavy as we can right now, forcing us to take those, to really look at the position we're playing at in the world and within our life, and really asking ourselves, is this what we want to be? And it's intense with Pluto and Capricorn at the later degrees too. Right now, like these energies is heightened, so we're really being challenged to see what we're made of, and if we're really willing to make the transformations necessary to have the life that we want. While some of us still don't even know what we want, it's a fucked up world out here. But yeah, that's how Tuesday's looking. So yeah, definitely you're going to see more aid and direction in how you can make teamwork that makes the dream work a reality, and where you should be directing your mind and your emotions. And then that test to see how serious you are about that transformation on Tuesday. Looking at Wednesday, um, we have the moon entering Cancer, squaring Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. How do you think this is going to hit?
So right now the moon's gonna go to its home. It's gonna allow you to emotionally initiate feelings and ways to connect with your home, domestic issues, and like nurture yourself. That's what the moon in Cancer are about: nurturing yourself. After all, especially the moon in Gemini, where you're collecting all these information about what you've done with the moon in Taurus, what you're trying to ground and stabilize. But the moon in Cancer, this is you. How do I feel about what I've done so far, starting from the new moon in Aquarius? The square to Jupiter and Karya in Aries, it challenge you emotionally to you have first to get out of your comfort zone so you can remember that individuality that you need to expand on, but also that wound you need to deal with. So obviously with the moon in Cancer, you have to heal yourself, nurture yourself, but also remember you need to go out there and expand on that vision. Where the moon in Cancer might make you lazy a little bit. I want to stay home and forget that thing I gave birth to and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's definitely the danger, and that's what leads Capricorn to relying on its shell, situations like that, and run away from vulnerability because of the dynamic and bold action of Aries. It can be really scared, and really jeopardize your level of comfort. But then we forget, Cancer forgets that Aries energy is temporary, or that it in its nature is quick, and same thing with its energy. So you end up becoming so defensive for no reason, or turning away from individuality for no reason, just to hold on to be more of an individual, to being bold in your expression as an individual, and really expand and understand what that means. Ultimate comfort, and the moon's at home. This is, you're in your bed
Mhm.
warm. You should get your ass up and start working out, or at least stretching. Jupiter, stretch out your muscles a little bit, at least. But you're like, oh, this blanket's heavy and warm. That's the energy. What about the moon in conjuncting the sun in
This
Aquarius?
is gonna be good because it's gonna remind you that you need to develop some form of emotional connection with the people you're associating with. Because sometimes that energy uh, takes a lot, and sometimes emotion is not even brought up enough to really making us remember why did we even start to associate together. Because in some way we are
Mm-hmm.
connected, but like if we like the most powerful you could do is like show charity, care, in an environment that's naturally progressive. This is like you bringing Cancer energy with Aquarius, but if you're always focused on the association, networking, and building a progression, like things become so dry all the way to the point it plays out physically too, because we're dealing with the nervous system, and that leads to inflammation. All air signs are fire signs that deal with inflammation issues. Leo's the heart, blood circulatory inflammation. Sagittarius, the muscular system inflammation. I could imagine what a sign dealing with the nervous
Mm-hmm.
system, a fixed sign too, that would what type of energy it would, what type of overload then it will lead to. And Cass is necessary to
Yeah.
nurture the body. You'll be surprised on how emotional connection really support the body and really helping you to cool down physically.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Just all the different emotions you feel and how that sets your body off and how being calm and comfortable, like people don't understand. And you can make fun of Cancer energy for being lazy and stuff like that, but boy, do they know how to relax, yo. And do they know how to self care, the beauty spa and all of that. They got that shit down. They know that shit. And we can benefit from them in those dry times.
Like Cancer and Taurus, they will definitely know how to like nurture you. Like you're a nice home, You may never want to leave it too.
Yeah, that ass. That's the energy I'm seeing on Wednesday. It's a warm ass blanket that's telling you that, oh no, you don't need to expand yourself. Oh, you don't need to go on that solo mission and go and expand. You could just stay right here, all nice and comfy. I'll hold you nice. I'll make you warm, and then you get rocked to sleep.
Yeah,
Literally rocked to
because
sleep.
you get focused.
Good thing that in conjunction with Aquarius is
It's
there.
almost like you're living in the United States and you so lost in what's happening in your state with the gang fights, the tribes, and the KKK. You forget what's happening internationally is happening the same way here, but it's just in different shapes and forms.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, you'd be looking at everything, in terms of your block and stuff like that when, uh and then not understand that you're talking about the exact same thing that other people are talking about and be like, nah, 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 this is what I'm familiar with. Well, what I understand, it's like, nah, nigga, it's broader than that. For sure. So that's how Wednesday's looking. Looking at Thursday, we have a grand water trine with the moon in Cancer, Venus in Pisces, and the South Node in Scorpio. How do you think this is going to be hitting us on
So
Thursday? Some heavy energy.
yeah, a lot of water, so which is good to nurture ourselves. Like water is like how we grow the body, like literally. The first thing you can do when it comes to health is like drinking healthy water, healthy fluids, and things like that. So I imagine like a
Absolutely.
metaphysical point of view too. So right now having the moon in Cancer, we're gonna be connected also with the home, trying to reflect. You'll be surprised on how reflection will correspond to like immune health. I'm pretty sure people who don't reflect, they won't develop their immune system. While people who's always reflecting what's happening with them, they better have immune system development because they're making sense about their internal
Yeah.
environment, which will correlate to their physical environment. So having this trine with Venus and Pisces in the South Node and Scorpio, I see it as you're emotionally connecting with the home. You're figuring out how you could bring all those things, your love matter, your desires. That's right now focus on your dreams and illusion and connect them to your whole matter. But you gotta be focused because you don't want to bring some of those Venus being exalted and Pisces, high level type of Luciferian illusions that be not beneficial to the home, the immune system, like high level sugars. You could bring it to your home. It could damage the immune system, but it will also heal the immune system through bringing a higher awareness of love. Because now Venus and Pisces, your love matter is gonna be like a spiritual sign. So you could maybe bring a broader form of love to the family. You see love in a different way. It doesn't have to be so direct with the emotion. We're trying to get comfortable in this current moment. This is how I feel. But like Venus and Pisces could tell you how everybody feel. And broader that sense, and the South
Mm-hmm.
Node in Scorpio allowing you to detoxify from certain vulnerabilities, fixated emotion that's preventing you from transforming, really climbing out of the bottom portion of the Kundalini to raise yourself up, aka Kundalini, and transforming basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I loved how you're talking about how the reflection and how important that is with water signs, which is so
Mhm.
true, especially with Cancer, because look at how your immune system can attack what's
Yeah,
good.
that's too much reflecting.
Same
Yeah, that's too
thing.
much reflection.
It's I think it's not enough reflecting and more
Oh,
reacting
uncon-
like a Cancer.
uncontrollable reflection.
If you get
Ah,
what I mean, yeah, they get that emotional urge and respond because they don't know how they feel. That's a Cancer who's not in their power, where they're responding to a bunch of emotional stimuli, but they don't understand why. It's like they just getting battered. That's when Cancer's off the rails and they get super sensitive, and they don't handle emotion emotions, bro. But if you were to reflect more often and utilize the positive aspects, wouldn't your immune system, aka you reflect, you know how you want the body of your state to be. You know what you want it to attack. Wouldn't your immune system act a little bit more stable? Not attack the good thing that's in the body, but because you reflect, it understands what its mission and what it should be protecting you from. Just a little bit better. So that healthy reflection of checking it, that emotional check-in of how do you feel and where are your emotions going and how do you want to feel. You really have to, it's water. It's a water triangle. It's like the cups. You really have to sip and taste those emotions in your mouth. Some
Yeah, yeah.
people aren't ready for that. All of us really, we have that problem. We go to our phone, we go to other people, we go to let the world distract us, and all of these different things. Sometimes you just have to, with that sour taste, or someone says something and you don't like it, or whatever. Sometimes you just have to, taste it in your mouth a little bit. Then you start understanding. You see the notes. You say, oh, there's a little bit of condescending energy in there. Oh, there's a little bit of my own self-hate that's coming in and stuff like that. Then, you start to de-escalate, and then you start to calm down, and then you start to understand where your emotions are going and where you would rather have them. So that reflection energy is very important for Thursday. Otherwise, like what Harry was saying, you're gonna get lost. This is you under the covers of beds. Venus and Pisces giving you the ice cream, and then Scorpio in the South Node is you scrolling through your ex's timeline, their feed. You're fiending for those old times, old emotions and stuff like that. Reading old text messages and shit like that. This is a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, and all that's gonna slow you down from a focus on communicating, focus on associating, focus on networking, and all the energy that is necessary to develop these things. That's why it's hard to associate and do actually something progressive and get paid for it on like a whole universal level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is just energy to really help you escape. So, and remember, like that escaping energy. I hate when people look at certain things. This is how they do feminine. Sometimes feminine is negative or it is destroying, but you can't just encapsulate it like that. If you get what I mean, So,
Yeah.
we look at these emotional responses or going through these feelings as bad things. Feelings, being sad and all of these things is bad things. You stopping those feelings is what's making it worse.
Yeah.
You just feeling them as, I'm sad. Oh, I'm not sad anymore. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times this is like they are our source of our energy. Just look on how people use like a negative memory as something to go back into to inspire them to not to do it again and go further in their life and things like that. Like we really gain power from our emotion, and then we act like our emotions not give us that power. Yeah, that's so funny actually.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like
100%.
we're embarrassed from our source of power. That's fucked up.
And that goes deep, and that's a whole maternal thing behind by how we. I bet, ever since they landed on the moon and we think it's physical and all that psyop, maybe they messed up global mother, if you get what I mean, how we relate to it in general. But I'm telling you, that Thursday, that water trine, can really sink you down a hole or really show you some divine truth, depending on how you go, how much resistance you put up towards feeling emotion.
And then you're gonna remember when God told you to build an ark when the moon was in Taurus, and then when the moon was into Gemini, you would start telling the people about it. But then when the moon went to Cancer, the flood came, and now
Dead ass, real talk. So yeah, that's how Thursday's looking. Looking at Friday, we have the moon in Cancer opposing Mercury and Pluto in Capricorn. How do you think this energy is going to be hitting
Wow, after
us?
this water trine, really, if you use the water trine from the previous day properly to correlate your emotional state, you're gonna be prepared for this opposition. Since right now you're emotionally, you feel nurtured and you reflect on what you've done so far, aka your arc is was properly built. So having the opposition to Mercury and Pluto in Capricorn, now you know your emotion could handle all the thoughts and ideas that you need to develop to continue to work on your business and your status, and the power of control that is necessary that might scare you, since the moon is in Cancer, a very soft area, and then opposing it, really showing you what you need to do. So you might feel it's almost like you're Noah Ark, and then God is showing you that's the line you need to reach. But it's a lot of, you see the storm,
Yeah.
you see the water going crazy, people dying, and but you gotta go through the opposition. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know, you may feel obligated to, to act in certain ways, or to resort to being comfortable, or to go towards familiar and stuff like that. You may build the arc and stuff like that. But maybe you're not sure, and you're still doubting it, or still relying on other regimes and stuff like that. But this opposition is really gonna push you, whether you're going to make that change or not. Whether and then this is why we went through that water trine. This is why we were going through those energies. It was really healing us, giving us those reflective energies for us to really get in tune with our emotions, and how we feel, and how we want to direct our energy, to get us comfortable with vulnerability. I'm telling you, with Moon in Cancer, and I'm starting to see it more and more. Look at any successful business, whether it be Andrew Tate, Top G, or anybody that really takes it to these higher levels. There's a high level of vulnerability that goes into things, where they genuinely care about these things, and they show that care, and that's what leads to you giving them status and authority, because they're going to uphold certain things because they genuinely care about it, and you see that vulnerability about them. You may even be able to use it against them sometimes, if you know what I mean. So this getting this energy in order is so powerful. If you could still stay open and vulnerable with your emotions while you're trying to, add a little bit of dryness. This is how you get. There's a J Cole line that was hard. I forgot what song he said it in, but he's like, "You see a glass as half full. I see it as a glass full of
I
ether," or
remember. I
something like
remember.
that. It was
I
a
remember.
bar
I
like
remember.
that.
Yeah,
And look at how we flipped it, just by changing the substance to something that is highly more potent. You're not even questioning whether it's full or not, because you have more power and capability than you even know what to do with. And once you have that type of perspective, that's different. That's different. So maybe you're not emotionally responding to, or there's not a lot of comfortability, or there's not. But what you do have, you generally, that's a dangerous motherfucker to get through. So we're really having that opposition, that challenge in our life, to see if we can really be that nigga. You can really have your heart open and stand on the podium, and give your spiel.
because like there's no land to stand on. It got destroyed by Pluto in Capricorn, and then Mercury in Capricorn is giving you
Mm-hmm.
the messages from God on how you're gonna build the next land. But you're on a fucking boat while everything is flooded. So the
Dead
opposition is
ass,
like, yo,
dead
how
ass.
am I supposed to do this? Oh, does that even make sense?
100%, 100%. And then Moon in Cancer's trining Neptune in Pisces. I guess aiding in handling these emotions. How do you think this will play out?
So I feel like if you right now with the moon in Cancer, depending on how you reflect it, this is gonna allow you to create a proper opportunity on knowing how to emotionally connect with your subconscious mind, especially after Neptune and Pisces been there for a while, allowing you to really like learn how to develop those metaphysical quality. Like when Neptune enter Pisces, this is when like I got more aware of like the conscious community. Now we're at the late degrees of Neptune and Pisces. Like I'm beyond conscious community, so I could see how that really like played out. And in the Moon in Cancer, this you develop a feeling of emotion to connect on what you developed so far, like spiritually, on a like a psychic level, and obviously bring a broader
Mm-hmm.
like a spiritual awareness to your emotional state and broader your emotional directness. So you're not just about how I feel, but you're aware of what's happening in the world. So you know how everybody feels. You're not so like Cancer, so selfish with the emotion. But the Neptune Pisces will I'll give you like charity, because like look what's happening with everybody on the collective level. That's not how you only feel. Like you're not the only nigga on the arc while everything is flooded. There's other people on the arcs too. You could connect with them later on.
Mm-hmm. I get what you mean, 100%. Like it's like connecting you to where where your emotions are going to, not even just feeling emotions. And once you have an understanding of where your feelings are gonna go to, there's so much more opportunity for you to respond in better
Mm-hmm.
ways and have that emotional wisdom. That's for sure. That's for sure. Moon in Cancer is like giving the Pisces. I feel like it's uh what was I gonna say? Where it's like where you can either be more comfortable with an expanded or that more openness to vulnerability allows your dreams to come through, creates the space for your dreams to
Mm-hmm.
come through, or that overprotectiveness, or caring about the wrong things is allowing, limiting self beliefs to become more solidified and to help you run away. So it's all depending on how you want to use that energy, because that trying, that access to that heightened emotional state, can go sour too. A little bit too much emotion. A little bit too much sauce. A little bit. A shot. May get an honest ass conversation. You get a little tipsy. Y'all niggas can get really deep. A couple more shots. I don't know.
It
I
becomes
don't
like a
know.
useless conversation. Everybody crying, uh,
It, it gets shaky. Exactly. Exactly.
it
100%.
is kind of funny.
So yeah, that's how Friday's looking. Very challenging day. Very emotionally challenging day.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Saturday, we have Venus and Pisces squaring Mars and Gemini. Uh, how do you think this is gonna
So
hit?
our love, while we're trying to love, appreciate our dreams and illusion, this is going to be a challenge on how much passion we need to put into communicating and analyzing what we've been doing so far. Since Mars is coming from retrograde, we have to develop all type of ways we could take action in the mental realm. So we know how to apply our nervous system on a better communicative level. Mars in Gemini, this is like you punching someone like in physical form. Mars in Taurus. Mars in Gemini, this is you punching someone on a mental level. So having the square to Venus and Pisces, like Venus, you're gonna have a difficulties and you have to go through learning opportunities between your passion desires and then your love matter, where they should work together, but then you're more passionate about communicating and arguing while your love matter is lost in la la land. But like the question becomes, can you bring them together?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go out there, communicate, argue about your dreams and illusions, what you're trying to love and appreciate, indulge in, or are you gonna allow your dreams and illusion gets you lost like in la la land? So what you're gonna communicate about is kind of gibberish, because both of them is an immutable sign. So like it's very indecisive.
Very, very, because what you're trying to give your energy to is very scattered, and what you're trying to value is very scattered. So you don't really know how to go about. There's a lot of experimenting and room that you have to go about in both ways, and definitely it's like a power struggle, like energy being taken away. Do you be more cerebral right now, or do you be more imaginative and more lucid right
Mm-hmm.
now? There's going to be that real battle, but through that you're going to see where your energy should be going, where you should be going, being a little bit more analytical. and what does deserve your value and appreciation right now, and for you to embed more of your imagination on. So Saturday, you may need, with that square, you may need to make some mistakes. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? To or trial and error, if you get what I mean. Especially with mutable squares, these are points of transition. It's something new, a new approach that's really going to let you get over that hump, if you get what I mean. Fixed signs maybe a little bit more of a power struggle, maybe more a little bit sturdy. But mutable, you have to alter or be flexible in some type of way to get through it. How to balance being cerebral and analytical, and putting energy towards that, and then emotionally exchanging emotions on a large scale with Venus and Pisces. So it's definitely not easy. That's like jumping in, being able to jump in out of lucid state, and cerebral
Oh,
state.
I,
Some of us can only do that with joints. You know what I mean? Some of us can only do that with certain help at certain times. But being able to do that on your own, that's some
Mhm.
powerful shit.
This alignment can be tough too because Mars, you're trying to apply your nervous system through your respiratory system, talking, but then Venus, every time you jump on your dreams and illusion, you get this hormonal response to feel good. But then Mars, you have to like separate out of it.
It make it
Yeah,
make sense, or
and that's
be,
work. And then
yeah.
the squares like your nervous thing gotta work with your hormonal system. But like Mars and Venus, they love each other. But then the square is like that. These two body functions, they gotta have a battle. A battle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Mars being your desires and what you want, or what's pulling you, where your energy is going to right now, may not be aligned with your values right now. So there's going to be, that challenge. Maybe you're being a little bit too cerebral, or a little bit too communicative and stuff like that, and that squirrel going, or maybe you're a little bit too much in la la land, with Venus and Pisces. So there's definitely going to be some equalifying, or you're gonna learn where you're at with on that scale on Saturday. Moon in Leo trining Jupiter in Aries.
So right now you're gonna be emotionally reacting to creativity, self-expression, being fixated and stubborn on that. This one gives Leo the ability to manifest their vision, in my opinion, way faster than Aries, because Aries will like have to spark a vision, imagination, bring the light to it, and then maybe get tired or find something new other to do. Leo could sustain that aim. It's like Leo, they know how to develop an ego, like which is kind of funny and fucked up to say at the same time. But like that's what you need to stand on the stage for, because that's how everybody else stands on the stage. So right now, emotion,
Yeah,
depending on what you done with the moon in Cancer, did you develop a good emotional state that prepare you to go on the stage, or did you develop a bad emotional state and that you want on the stage? There's gonna be the performance difference, especially as we approach the opposition with Saturn in Aquarius. So as your emotion react to your self-expression, creativity, entertaining yourself, you're having this trine to Jupiter in Aries, allowing you to expand on your emotional state for what you want to do on the stage based on that vision that you want to learn more about. It's almost like Aries gave you this new rapping style, and then you adopted it to go on this MTV stage, basically.
yeah, yeah. I get what you mean, and you get to play around with that style to see how much you can expand yourself through it, for sure. Whether you are able to become comfortable with vulnerability to a degree, like Harith was saying, with when the moon was in Cancer, and look at how to be a performer. You have to be comfortable on, or to give the best performance, you have to develop a level of comfortability. That's why Cancer precedes Leo, to prepare Leo, to make Leo vulnerable, to make Leo care, to make Leo, have that emotional connection to the performance, to make it done right. So when the moon goes into Leo, I met my sister's a moon in Leo, and she's very prideful with her emotions. Sometimes to a detriment. 100%. But you can't tell her about, or try to devalidate how she
No, no,
feels.
no, no.
It's
She's from the hood
impossible.
too. No,
It's
no, no.
impossible. Yeah, and it's so strong, and maybe it'd be stubborn, and like you could get mad at it, but you you admire her for having her own place and not being able to budge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of performer that really succeeds. So with the right emotions, and when you respond to your emotions the right way, that's how you could feel. You could genuinely feel proud of what you're entertaining and what you're jumping into, because you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. You opened yourself up to greater possibilities. And Leo's the time where you can really enjoy that, enjoy the fun. You know what I mean? To be a friend, to enjoy a friendship, there has to be the icebreaker, the vulnerability period where you guys get to know each other. But then after that, you really get to enjoy the friendship or the experience, and you guys really get to dive into each other. And then through that experience, the Trine to Jupiter, we can really, really learn about ourselves, man. There's going to be so much more opportunities for us to expand how we see ourselves, the more confidence we have in our own emotions.
Like Jupiter in Aries is gonna I want to be that. The moon in Leo, like you could get kind of comfortable on like what you want to do. Jupiter is gonna inspire you, but the moon in Leo could stabilize Jupiter in Aries. Do it this way, be more this way. And Jupiter is like no, and then you on the stage like okay.
Facts. Leo, Moon and Leo might help you be like, I'm that nigga, but Jupiter and Aries is like, I'm that nigga that does or that can do, you know, and it expands your repertoire. But yeah, to be able to do that, you have to be that nigga. That's for sure. So yeah, that's how Saturday's looking. Looking at Sunday, we have on the 5th of February, the full moon in Leo hitting us on Sunday, making a T-square with Uranus as it's hitting. How do you think this full moon is going to hit us?
It's time for us to experience what we started with the new moon Aquarius, where we planted our new seed to put ourselves in an emotional space so we associate and develop new mentalities. This led us to the moon in Pisces, allowing us to be more open to our dreams and illusion and see what can we do that with our association. Then that led us to the moon in Aries, fighting and being aggressive for these associates and these networks that we want to develop. The moon in Taurus is us stabilizing, grounding that passion, that nervous system signal, the flaming bush. Then the moon to Gemini is us communicating, really arguing, analyzing about what we've done so far. When the moon was in Cancer, time to nurture, comfort ourselves before what we go on the stage, where we're gonna fully emotionally release what we've been developing so far, aka just performing at our basically highest peak. But with the T-square, with the Uranus in Taurus, this is gonna be like a high level of performance where it's almost like everything's at the stake. Because don't like to say when the moon goes into Leo, shit hit the fans. And when you have the moon in a masculine side and then the sun in a masculine side too, there's a lot of things happening, and that square's creating more aggression, really forcing you to be what you claim you are while you're still part of this an association, because the sun is in Aquarius.
100%. And if we've been planting bad seeds, you know, it's going to play out as a release. But, you know, with bad seeds, you know, it's like that performance doesn't work out. You know, the stage has falling down, you know, the headlights fall on you and shit like that, and everything starts crumbling and shit like that. And it's in front of everybody. If you get what I mean, you got exposed, or you know, you're lip singing, you know, those niggas that be singing and shit like that, and then the record skips and some shit like that, and then everybody now knows that you lip sync.
As you're a person in the hood, and then this Jew got interested on you because he saw you as a certain way you portrayed yourself, but that's not reality. Then he signed you to his group and his network, and then now this is time for you to perform. And then what he finds out, you're not what you claim you are. Now you're gonna experience what everybody calls the devil in the music industry. That would be the negative aspect of this full moon in Leo. You jumping on the stage and then like, oh, your association looking at you, being too prideful, lost in your own light, or not knowing how to distribute like light properly, attention.
Or you were so, you know, proud there, and you made that, but when the sun came and shone some light onto there, you know, we were like, where is it at?
It's not all that.
Where is that? Oh, I thought you were that nigga. Where's it all at? That reminds me of Rick Ross. Yeah, I don't know if you know.
I know the whole story.
The
how he
real
stole
Rick Ross,
his whole like look with the beard, the bald. And what's so funny? He's
and how he was a
a correction
correction
officer.
or law
Yo,
enforcement or
bro,
something like
and
that.
he went against G Unit. That was a whole other thing. It's funny how he still survived and still became rich. And he did him getting exposed of his vulnerabilities and shit like that's also a lesson for everybody. Even if you fake it and you still make it, you some way, shape, or form, you might still be there because you went through the
If you got to a certain point, like they may still like you or keep you around, or at least be comfortable enough seeing you
like.
around to allow you to have some
And
space
like I
there.
feel like Rick Ross in some way he brought all possibility to fat people. Like you could do this and get to this. Like he was like a part of all possibility. And I just look at him as like a funny person.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's funny. That he was literally correctional officer, but that's what it is.
Oh, he
And
was a
if you had the right associates and stuff like that, maybe you can ride the wave like Rick Ross did, and still come out. But if
it's
you
funny.
don't, then I don't know,
He was a
man.
sun or a moon Capricorn. While he beefed with 50 Cent, who was a Cancer, you would think maybe the person with the Capricorn energy
Oh,
would side with more truth or like what makes sense or be more solid. But it's the other way around. It's really we saw like how 50 Cent like put his heart on his sleeve. Like 50 Cent, when he came to the music industry through Eminem and Dr. Dre, his period of time, like he flooded everything. Like he did like a Noah Ark. Like
yeah,
literally, he sold
yeah. When he came, it was 50 time. He took over the whole game.
and
It was like nobody was listening to nothing but
he
50 at that point. Get Rich or Die Tried? Yeah,
dude,
one
he
hundred
got the
percent, 100%.
he
It
got
was
the
a flood.
alley from Dr. Dre. That's like Abraham, and then he alley you to Isaac. That's Eminem, and then he alley you to 50 Cent like Noah. Bro, that was weird. Like
Yeah.
the shadow coming like. They,
A lie. You know how much niggas is gonna kill each other bumping this track? It's like, give this nigga a boat. Give this nigga a fucking new car. 100% for sure. It's funny how Rick Ross being a Capricorn, and he's using titles. He's using someone else's status, which is crazy, as his own identity, which is
the
crazy.
same thing. The same thing
Which
happened
is
with
crazy.
the game too. Like his first album, a lot of it was written by 50 Cent. Like you'd be surprised at how 50 Cent nurtured niggas. Like you say 50 Cent was
Yeah.
like the mother in the hood, like the one that people needed.
Yo,
Like, I'm telling you,
yo, that's
a lot of
crazy.
niggas tell you they
That's
looked up to
crazy.
50 Cent. Yo, he nurtured us, yo, with those like tough titties, yo, that tough emotion, tough love.
Yo, real
Look at the way he
talk.
treated his son, yo. He destroys his son completely. He has no care whatsoever. He wants his son to go out there and get it himself, the same way he got it. But
Yeah,
I know, but he's
yeah.
a moon cancer. No, what was it? Moon cancer. It's something cancer and Gemini. That's fucked up, yo.
That is fucked up. That's something you tell your kid when he's 5, and then he works on it then. If you get what I mean, like, oh, you have to get it on your own, but as you're young and you have this space of time, you have to figure it out. Telling this nigga as a grown-ass man and you weren't there, or, you weren't helping him develop as a human being, and then now telling him you're not going to give him any of your millions, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's funny.
But, that's what happens, man. That's why with this full moon, we got to be that nigga. Or at least the emotions we hold on to and responding to, we have to know those, and be able to be confident in those. And that's why we have to do that shadow work, man. Those water trines, all of that energy, all of those oppositions may really start to play out as, things leave in your life. Even this full moon here, some stuff really may be leaving your life. Some relationships, or maybe who you've been associating with, or some of those emotions that you thought you were comfortable with or thought you were confident in, you may have to abandon some of them, or at least reflect and do some deeper dives into what you're doing and how you're moving forward and the social causes that you're pushing. So there may be loss that you experience, but know that is only pushing you forward, that is cleaning up the act. If you get what I mean. Sometimes in a show, there are excess roles, too much extras, and to really make it to draw more light on the main plot of the story, sometimes you have to trim out the extras, and we shouldn't feel bad about that. You know, understanding that we are the stars of our own movies, if you get what I mean, and we really have that power to
Mhm.
decide. If you get what I mean, Aquarius energy would get you so lost and no, include everybody or to abandon self. No, it's not about me and all of that. No, fuck all of that shit. It's good to be a team as long as it's benefiting you. Once it stops benefiting you to be part of a team, you get your ass out of there. You get your ass the
Because
fuck out of there. Fuck camaraderie at that shit. Get
like
out of there.
once you in a large group, you realize how like separate the group is, or like how groups within the group tend to regroup. If you kind of get what I'm trying to say, it's almost like everybody trying to get in where they could get a position and trying to get out as soon as possible, which is how politics works to
Yeah.
a certain position.
Yeah, especially because it's limited time. So yeah, for sure, you getting good or take as much as you can once it's going. 100%. And then look at later in that full moon day, the moon goes to oppose Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think that adds nuance to the energy of that full
So
moon?
first of all, if you're gonna handle this is gonna make you go through a lot. Really, this is grandpa trying to just grandpa coming to your school day event, basically trying to see you how you would perform under all the intensity. Oh, before that, we're going through all these squares, really making that chance like physical and like heartfelt, like literally for you to really do your best and the opposite. This is gonna really teach on how far you got when it comes to your own self creativity, inner light, and how you can correlate it in way better ways for the future of society. And how, because you right now you're focused on associated and networking. Saturn and Aquarius is gonna make it just make your performance, give you the right things to do, and teaching you through hard, making fun of you, through destroying you, through making basically
Yeah,
because Saturn is not gonna be
yeah,
soft with the moon in Leo because it loves Leo, it loves the sun because the sun is the beginning. It starts everything, but you gotta be responsible.
100%. That makes me think of the sovereign citizen niggas, and then the FBI comes and all of a
You
sudden
no longer. I'm telling you,
and all
these
of a sudden there's nothing's
sometimes
moving.
a lot of these sovereign people, it be on some like a Moorish or Hebrew thing. This one claim names and titles and be prideful of these things. This one be able to put El, Bay, and things like that, and there's no problem with it. But like, but,
And
but
that's it. And
that's it.
that's
But then when
it.
the government comes to your door, like you can't stand up for yourself. No, you're no longer Hebrew. You're no longer fighting for what you are. You're a 14th Amendment citizen. You forget all the sovereign paperwork, the videos you were watching.
Allah, you had all your paper. Here's my certificate of live
Yeah,
birth and
yeah.
all of these different documents that niggas would get up. They'll shoot several rounds through that shit, hit you. Like that doesn't matter. And there's been several examples of stuff like that. I heard there's a guy who went on Joe Rogan who had his business taken away because he was teaching people modern day survival, and they labeled him as a terrorist because he's talking about like guns and modern day survival stuff, what to do in a natural disaster, how to get from point A to point B, and how to do a bunch of stuff like that. And they talked about certain things that the FBI has done before. They talked about something called Ruby Ridge. I don't know if you
No.
ever heard of it. It was like in the 90s. This ex Green Beret, this ex-military guy, decided to live in rural Idaho with his own place, his own cabin, and allegedly something came up, or he broke some law regarding to gun possessions, or was looked at dangerous for some reason for possessing guns. And then they look at maybe something happened with gun ownership or having too much guns or something like that. And then they start doing the background check and seeing that he's a veteran and from Vietnam and stuff like that. And then it starts setting off red flags for them. They're like, oh shit, if this guy thinking militia type action, or like these people are knowledgeable. They know how to kill. You know, if they were to go and teach people or start militia, they're scared of stuff like that. Because why are they stockpiling guns and stuff like that? Well, they have a constitutional right, you know, to a degree. But anyways, the FBI went to go and investigate this guy, not by knocking on the door. They dressed in ghillie suits, like the camel in the full suits, belly crawl to this nigga's isolated cabin, like dead ass. And then his son seen one of these niggas in these camel suits and raised his rifle and killed one of them, and they shot his son dead. And then it turned into like a 11-day standoff between this nigga barricaded up in the cabin fighting off the FBI.
Oh,
They killed his son, they killed his wife, and after like 10 days, after 10 days, I think they got one of his old army commanders to come and convince him to surrender and leave the cabin and shit like that. But it took like them 10 days to deal with the
no.
thing. I'll knock on the door and be like, hey, my nigga, you got a little bit too much. I'll knock on the door. I'll knock on the door. Could have prevented a lot of shit. But that's the energy. That's Leo, you being out here thinking, oh, I'm good on my own. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, then the third. And so heavily coordinated team attack when it dismantled your whole identity, when it dismantled your whole shit.
That whole story is like a perfectly described moon in full Leo opposed Saturn Aquarius. Like there's no way better to say it.
You dead ass, bro. Dead ass. That's funny. But yeah, that's the energy of that week. Intense full moon. We really got to take opportunities with these water trines to really get in touch with our emotions and clear up our emotions. Use that reflecting so that, you know, once we go through all of these energies, we don't get flunked out, or at least we have the right perspectives and how we want to feel. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out our website, truspace.biz. Check out our Instagram, truspace_. And yeah, catch you on the flip side.
Take care.